took off their undergarments, their underwear in the bathroom, and it was everywhere.
Shit was everywhere.
Yeah.
They shit their pants.
They had shit their pants at the Food and Wine Festival.
We're practicing some new camera angles here. Somebody messaged us and said, why don't you guys look at each other instead of awkwardly looking at each other and trying to make eye contact with the camera?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, that's genius.
On the flip side of that, we did read recently someplace on the Instagram or someplace like that if you are in a conflict, it's great to go for a walk because you're not looking at each other eye to eye, and it's easier to resolve conflict when you're just kind of side by side.
Yeah, it's good for your teenagers and stuff too. If, they don't want to talk to you when you put them on the spot and look them in the eye, it's best to like be in the car. Yeah. Which brings me to what I wanted to start with.
This is a good one. I'm so excited about this one.
Well, no.
This is not the one we're doing?
No, it is the one we're doing, but I just want to do a little relationship update before we got there.
Oh my. Is there something? Are you breaking up with me? Are you breaking up with me in front of the millions and millions of viewers? You're breaking up with me in front of everyone?
No.
This is the last Harley Malarkey podcast ever?
No, if I was breaking up with you, I'd take you on a walk. Quite the opposite, in fact. I was going to say, I think the last episode that we sat down to record, because we've been posting some ones we recorded a while back, was our relationship episode where we talked about, what makes a good relationship, what we're working on. And one of the things that we were working on is you being less defensive. And
I'm not defensive. What are you talking about? I'm not defensive. No. You're defensive. You're defensive.
No, I'm not defensive. But you've been doing a really good job.
Right?
Yeah. You have done a really good job of, you were gone for 2 weeks. While you're gone, I was in my premenstrual cycle and I was very sensitive and very emotional. And you listened, you gave me a virtual hug. You even sent me really nice flowers, and you didn't try and make me feel crazy for being sad. You were just like, how can I comfort you? And I was sick last week and I was crying because I was sick, which was a little bit dramatic, but instead of being mean, you were just really nice and you comforted me. And in any sort of conflict we've gotten into in the past month, sometimes you've gotten defensive, but if you have, you've stepped back and apologized, and you've just been trying to listen and comfort me. And when it's not about you, not make it about you. And I would say that we've been living in a lot of peace and harmony in the past month too.
That's amazing. Well, listen here now. I don't really absorb praise very well. So I'm just really like, okay, can we talk about our subject now? Yes, it has felt very natural, very easy flowing.
Yeah. I mean, do you notice how much better it is to
agree with everything you say?
No, but just not get defensive, not feel like everything's your fault, and just be like, how can I comfort I had a little bit of a rough month. I had some bad PMS. I got really sick. And a lot of times when I have a bad month, it really freaks you out, but you didn't get freaked out. And then we both lived in harmony. Didn't you notice how much better that was?
So it's pretty much castration of myself. Is that what we just came up with? Yeah, I normally try to resolve problems. I try to fix problems and, move forward on them.
Or you try and defend why nothing is your fault at all.
Yeah, I just think about that.
I was expecting you to say, I didn't realize how well the tools that you've been trying to teach me for years work. And now that I've started putting them into practice, I realize how simple it is to not get defensive and to just be caring and comforting and make you feel safe. And that life is much easier for both of us in that way. And it's like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner?
Ditto.
I want to punch you in the face.
Yes. So I have listened.
Uh-huh.
I have learned. I did learn that I just need to lean in and give a hug and support you. And that is not my fault.
Yeah.
And that I don't have to solve the problem. I just have to be present.
Yeah.
Did I get most of it in that one?
Yeah. I mean, you're not the bullshit meter's on as far as you like really feeling like it seems like you haven't noticed a difference at all. So whatever.
No, I have. I'm just having so much fun with the camera angles right now. I can't. I thought I could walk and chew gum at the same time, but it appears I cannot. We have had a very good month. We had a good time. There was that thing that happened up Norcas Island where we were stressed out and we both had things going on. And it has been better. And not just my relationship with you, but my relationship with my kids also. I learned that they don't need me to resolve the problem. They don't need me to, fix everything. They just need to be heard and realized and say, I hear you.
Well, and they want to be empathized with too. Like if they're complaining about something, like one of the most simple, effective things you can say is, man, that really sucks.
Yeah. And I'm just learning that right now too.
Yeah.
I've never been really good at just like, that sucks. Let's move forward. Or let's like, I always, this is crazy, but I'm 50 years old and I'm just figuring out I'm 50 years old. So I'm just now figuring out that this major form of communication I've missed for half of my life.
Yeah.
I have to be 100.
Empathy.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I not know what empathy was?
No, I don't think you did.
Shut up.
Not very well.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Speaking of you being 52, we met this new lady, Patsy, on our travels to Oregon recently, and we were having some Thai food, and she came up to our table, and then he was like, yeah, she's half my age, and Patsy was appalled, and I was like, I'm not half his age, and I wasn't feeling that well, or else I would have been like, unless he's fucking 70 years old.
Well, then Patsy would have won a piece of the action, because that's about what Patsy is, right?
Yeah.
I did have 2 female relationships this last weekend. Patsy was one.
Yeah.
We fell in love with each other. All right. Just say she was a jolly. If Santa Claus had a wife, it might be Patsy. Yeah. All right. And then there was another woman. I didn't get her name.
Yeah.
But I kissed on the lips.
I know. You told me.
Upwards of an 85-year-old woman.
Yeah. I heard she was more the pursuer, but.
She was chasing me down.
Yeah.
I signed her arm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't legit today, I was like this. My fan base is wild, wild, like 80 plus, writing on the arms, kissing on the lips. It's like kind of like Elvis.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably they are Elvis fans also.
That's funny. That's really funny. I get that. So let's get into your subject.
Okay. So as I mentioned briefly, we both got pretty sick this past week. Me probably more than Brian because it lasted for 5 days for me, 2 days for him. But I was listening to this podcast, I think actually the day before I got sick. It was the Skinny Confidential. I'm forgetting what woman it was, but she's just like, I don't shake hands. It's fucking gross. Like, I don't know where the fuck your hands have been. And then I have to deal with...
You don't have to cuss to express yourself.
Oh, but that's how I feel. It's fucking grosses me out. It's what got me sick. And she's like, I'll hug you. I don't mind hugging you. Like, I don't have to like touch your gross hands and wonder where they've been, but I don't want to shake your hand. And that's one of the post-COVID things that I'm pissed about. Like, why are we shaking people's hands still? And it really resonated with me because the day that I listened to this podcast episode was the day after you and I were at the Del Mar Food and Wine Festival. And it's a food and wine festival. It was like advertised with a bunch of celebrity chefs being there. So it attracted the people that are super excited to meet you, which you love. Like you love more than anything, your fans coming up to you and wanting to talk to you and say hi to you. And I love it too, because it makes you so happy. Like, please don't take this as don't come up to Brian. But he was getting mobbed. It was like we couldn't turn around before somebody else wanted to shake his hand. And then somebody wanted to FaceTime with their mom. And then somebody's like, can you take a picture? Can you take a picture? It was like insane. Like I've never seen it that crazy. Nobody really cares to see me. But since I'm right there, they all shake my hand too. So it's just like.
No. You did have a Harley Malarkey fan.
I did have a couple people that were like, we love the podcast. We love you, Harley. And made me happy. But in the span of like 20 minutes, I probably shook like 20 hands and they're sweaty and they're clammy. Everybody's hammered. We're packed like sardines into this tent. And I'm just like feeling like the germs crawling all over my hands.
And we're not drinking wine. We're drinking our sparkling water or whatever it is. But we are eating a lot of food. And sometimes you have to pick up that food with your hands.
Yeah. And I like knew I was going to get sick before I got sick because Urban Wood made these chicharrones, or was it Urban Wood? Yeah.
Yes.
Handmade. Chef Aiden made them. amazing. And Brian's like, you have to try the chicharrones.
That's puffed pork skin, for
Yeah.
those of you that don't know. He made his own chicharrones, and they were insane. If you've ever had a chicharron in a bag at a restaurant,
Does
those
not
are
compare.
stale, disgusting compared to what Aiden made. They were over the top, and we were eating them like popcorn.
Yeah, but Brian is grabbing them into his hands, putting them in my hand, and I'm just like, oh God, this is so gross. If I don't get sick, I'm at least building up my immune system. But I was just disgusted by the whole thing, and I'm like, why the fuck do we have to shake people's hands?
And the restroom was way on the other side of this venue.
Yeah, nobody was washing their hands in the middle of this. And Brian, as he was, should we throw this in there now?
What?
So as we're leaving the venue, Brian has the bladder of, he has to pee like every fucking 3 minutes. So as we're leaving the venue,
15.
as we're leaving the venue, Brian goes to the bathroom again.
Oh, God. Okay. I don't think they're ready for this.
Okay, we'll bring it back later.
Somebody had too much to drink. Somebody had too much. Something happened.
Hit the
But they
sea slopes.
literally took off their undergarments, their underwear in the bathroom, and it was everywhere.
Shit was everywhere.
Yeah.
They shit their pants.
They had shit their pants at the Food and Wine Festival. People get fucked up at Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, and when you're drunk, like, is washing your hands thoroughly like the number one thing on your agenda?
Okay, so let's go back here. So for years, oh my God, this is amazing. I remember this distinctly right here. I was at Disneyland literally 2 days before COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited. We got to see Star Wars before it all went down. And I was in the restroom. And I was going to the restroom and I was washing my hands. I watched this guy. He goes to the restroom and he walks out. And I remember I'd seen this tattoo on his arm. Like, it was from the Pulp Fiction. It was the line from Pulp Fiction. Like it was John 3:14 or whatever it was, walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I'm in fear no evil.
Bible verse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What was I saying?
Well, you said it was a line from Pulp Fiction. It's like a line from the Bible, but
It's what Samuel L. Jackson delivered before he shoots the guy, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? And then I kind of remember that. And I was like, so this happens far too frequently. People walk out of restrooms in the men's restroom without washing their hands. I would say almost every time I'm in the bathroom, if it's at a sporting event or whatever, 80%, 90% wash their hands. But you just watch that one that just walks out of there without washing their hands, just washing their hands. Are they scared to get their penis dirty with their already dirty hands? Or they just don't care about shaking everybody else's hands?
I don't know. It's really disgusting. And women are not as disgusting as men because I rarely see a woman walk out of the restroom without washing their hands. I did yesterday when we were at the airport bathroom, but I see a lot of people like squirt a tiny bit of soap, rub their hands together. They're done washing their hands within like 3 seconds. So is that really getting the germs off your hands? This is gross. But my dad did tell me that he washes his hands before he pees, so he doesn't have to put his dirty hands
I think that's smart.
on his penis.
I think that's smart. I mean, you're protecting yourself when you're doing that. You might as well. You've been shaking hands. So now let's look at this. So what do you do with your hands? And I was going to look up because I know in some cultures you shake with your one hand, you eat with your other hand.
Yeah, you wipe your ass with one hand, you eat with another one.
100%. So
hand and a dirty one.
I'm just taking it back. I think we're very uninvolved in this, but it's so ingrained in our culture. I think with COVID, we stopped shaking hands.
Yeah.
And a few good things came from COVID about how we clean ourselves, how we're, there was some good things about it.
Yeah.
But this one quickly got erased. I think Obama was the first president. I know Trump doesn't shake people's hands. Obama wants to fist pump. Fist pumping is the best.
Yeah.
Right? Because what else do people do with their hands? They eat with their hands. They go to the bathroom with their hands.
They masturbate.
They masturbate with their hands.
But they masturbate with the inside of their hands, not the outside of their hands. So I'm saying a fist bump.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, 100%. Yes, you're still okay with the fist bump. Yeah, nobody's knuckling it. No, knuckle grind.
Yeah.
Could be fun, but not for the most part. So you think about, I shake hands with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it runs through my head going, oh my God, did that guy just yank it this morning? Just like, and there's still some in the fingernails and there's stuff going everywhere. So, but after you mentioned we shouldn't shake hands anymore, I tried to put it into play.
Yeah.
And it lasted.
Neither of us did it.
It doesn't work because they don't want to be fist bumped. They want that personal connection. And you said something. I would rather hug somebody than shake their hand.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, not a creepy dude who's just trying to cop a feel, but in general, like if I met somebody and they were super
But that's how you met me.
I would much rather hug most people than shake their hand. And I was Googling, like, why do we even shake hands in the first place? And it is one of those very outdated things that just nobody's questioned. Like, you used to shake hands back in the day as a peace offering to show, like, I don't have a weapon in my hand. It's safe for, us to.
Little did we think back in the day, that's a different weapon people are working on today when they shake your hand.
Yeah.
Imagine what that hand has been through before it shakes your hand.
Yeah. And yeah, we did at the airport. We were talking about this and we're both like, yeah, fuck that. We're not shaking hands again. And then like 2 seconds later, somebody reaches out to shake our hand. We kind of make quick eye contact, like, well, fuck, I don't know what else to do. But I was kind of sick as we were going through the airport. So I was getting out of shaking people's hands because I was like, hey, I'm a little under the weather. Like, I don't want you to get my germs. But you can't use that excuse forever.
So when I'm in the restaurant,
yeah.
I do, if I am physically cooking food, which doesn't happen all that much anymore, but I would be like, no, like people shake my hand. I go, doctor, from the old, I don't know if the Chevy Chase movie.
Yeah.
You're way too young for that. But hello, doctor. Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor. So you can't shake hands because I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Right. I'm still going to go wash my hands, but it's just best if you just don't touch these things.
Yeah.
These are tools.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you can't do that in public. I started counting and started realizing how much I shake hands after you brought this to my attention. And I was like, this is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And I judge inside my head, like, what did that person do with their hand earlier today?
We don't know. You never know. So this is my declaration that I don't want to shake your hand. It brings me no joy. It brings me no pleasure. I would love to give you a hug if you're a nice person. I don't want to fucking shake your hand. So if you see me and you've heard this, give me the fist bump. Reach out and give me a hug. We don't need to shake hands.
Well, my fan base is going to be pretty upset with this. Okay. Because they want to shake my hand. They want me to FaceTime mom.
Yeah.
They want to kiss me on the goddamn lips.
You know what I also hate is if people put their phone in your hand for whatever reason, because I think even grosser than hands are phones. If you don't, like, I wipe my phone. I'm not a germaphobe, just to like go back to that. Like, I'm like, the more germs we expose ourselves to, the more robust our immune system is. Like, it's not bad to hang out with a bunch of people, get acquainted with a bunch of people. Like, our immune systems got worse during COVID because we were locked inside. We weren't supposed to be around people. So I'm not a germaphobe in that I don't want to be around people. I don't want to be exposed to other people's germs. Like, I want a strong immune system. I'm happy to hug people. I'm happy to be close to people. I want to be in a crowded place. I just don't want to fucking touch your hands because they're gross.
Huh. So, I mean, what do we do? We'd like our viewers to reach out to us and say, agree, disagree. Somebody just anybody come up with a good argument why we should be shaking everybody's hand.
Yeah. I'd like to know that. Like, why not a fist bump? Why not a hug?
I think a fist bump is let's try it. Yeah. It's bad. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like rock star. It's kind of like, what's up?
I think we need a good line. Like, next time somebody tries to shake our hand, what do we just say? Oh, just a fist bump, man. I'm just a fist bumper. And it's weird. Like, they're
turned off.
Well, no, people are considered weird who don't shake hands. Like, one of the main ones, because he is a huge germaphobe, and I do think I sound like a germaphobe, but like, you should wipe off your phone like every couple days because your hands and other people's hands, like, wipe it off. You should wash your hands, but you shouldn't be afraid of the world. I think Howie Mandel is afraid of the world, but he's a huge germaphobe, but he refuses to shake people's hands, and people are like, he's such a weirdo. He won't shake people's hands. So it is because you're going in against the grain. You're going against tradition. People think you're weird if you don't shake hands, but I think it's kind of weird to shake everybody's hand.
But I walk around the restaurants and I talk to everyone and they all want to shake my hands. A lot of them will reach up with two hands. Like, what if they're two-handed earlier in the day, And if you think your phone is disgusting, think about the remote control in hotel rooms. That's the one that just freaks me out.
Yeah.
So,
that was a good thing of COVID is they used to like put a sticker on the remote and say this was sanitized between visits.
What was it?
Probably not.
Was it?
Yeah.
One day we'll look back at this and go, how uncivilized were we? You know what? Look back 50 years and go, what? I can't believe people were doing that. Actually, I think it was civilized 50 years ago. I think we're kind of losing it. We don't dress nice. We don't talk nice. Look at the letters that they used to write people in the olden days and stuff like that. Are we becoming more unevolved instead of evolving?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the way my kids dress. Look at the way I dress, you know? Well, I imagine you're probably going to be shaking my hand because I can't turn this ship around. So I'm just going to keep washing and washing. But if you do yank it before you see me, just really scrub those hands good, please.
Or just throw out the fist bump.
Or you know what? If you come at me with a fist bump, I'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, our listeners, let's just do our own little thing here.
It's our secret handshake.
And it doesn't mean we're not personable. Like you said, Harley will take a hug. I'll take a hug, you know? Unless you're a perv.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we got today.
If you grab that ass, I'll smack you. Follow us on iTunes or Spotify or YouTube. Leave us a rating and review. We love it. Send us in questions.
Yeah, I dare you to.